Hello! Nailed it. I'm being so weird and unnatural. Zen. Hey book friends, welcome back to Books and Tea Time. This is a pretty big week because I technically start school this week. And I say technically because I'm still not 100% sure what's going on. I'm supposed to start online classes or classes that are operating in socially distanced fashion on Wednesday this week. I'm a little anxious, but also just excited to get back in a routine, and I'm really looking forward to all the classes that I'm going to be taking this semester. So in this vlog, we are going to talk about the classes that I'm taking and the books that I'm reading for those classes, as I am an English literature major myself. But we're also going to be doing reading, and not just school reading, guys. We're going to be doing fun reading too, because that's what keeps me sane. So I'm gonna be talking about 4 books really quickly. So 2 of them I am hoping to finish early this week before Wednesday, before school starts, and then the other 2 are books that I want to start and finish this week. So if you watched last week's vlog, we had an accidental Jane Austen marathon because I was reading Emma, because one of the things that I am doing this fall is I'm going to be a UTA, an undergraduate teaching assistant. If you don't know what that stands for, I'm going to be an undergraduate teaching assistant for a class about Austen and the Bronte sisters, and I'm reading Emma to prep myself. I also read Sense and Sensibility 2 vlogs ago if you want to hear my thoughts about that, but I'm reading Emma to prep for that, and I have about 100 pages left. So this is one book that I need to finish. I'm gonna hopefully finish it by tomorrow because I would just ideally like to have this out of the way before I start school on Wednesday. So that's one thing that I'm gonna do. And then also, while I was in the middle of reading Emma last week, I happened to get the audiobook for Dangerous Alliance on the Overdrive app. That's the app that I use for my audiobooks, get them from my local library. And this book is about a young girl in the Regency period who is a huge fan of Austen's novels, and basically she lives her life trying to emulate Austen's heroines and just kind of uses all of the famous Jane Austen novels as like a guide for her life. And it's a really dramatic, sensational representation of the Regency period, but I love it. I think it's really cute and quirky and whimsical, and it's just really fun. So I'm listening to that, and I'm about 56% of the way through that. So I'm, again, hoping to finish that super soon so that I can move on to the other stuff that I want to read this week that is not Jane Austen inspired. The fiction book that I'm going to pick up ASAP is A Dream So Dark by Ella McKinney. I feel like I talk about this in like every video, but anyway, this is the 2nd book of the Nightmareverse trilogy. I feel like a broken record saying this. I feel like I talk about this series so much, but this is an urban fantasy Alice in Wonderland retelling, and it's incredible. And I'm really looking forward to reading it and finding out what happens in the 2nd book. This is going to be a nice detour from a lot of like the preliminary school reading and like boring things about school that I have to get through. I think this is really going to liven up my life and keep it exciting. There's a lot of great battle and humor and sarcasm, and I'm just really excited. And I mean, just like, oh, I can't wait. Also, I just got another email yesterday that I have another audiobook ready, so as soon as I finish Dangerous Alliance, I'm going to immediately start a 2nd audiobook, which is Such a Fun Age by Kiley Reid. And I'm really looking forward to this. I don't read contemporary a lot, but that being said, I'm trying to read more, and I have heard so many good things about this book from so many great YouTubers, namely Noelle Gallagher, who's one of my favorites. And I just really am excited to pick this book up. Actually, if you go back and watch my Reading Rush vlog, I talk about the fact that I didn't know that this was the group book, and I immediately put in a request for the audiobook after I found out that we were supposed to be reading it for the Reading Rush. So I wanted to make amends for that oversight on my part and on the Reading Rush's part and read a great book that we were supposed to read together. Yes, so we've got Emma and Dangerous Alliance to wrap up at the beginning of the week, and then we have, oh my god, this book is so floppy, what is going on? And then for the 2nd half of the week, we have A Dream So Dark and Such a Fun Age. So we're going from Regency romance to fantasy and a hint of contemporary. And I just love how many genres I'm covering in this video. Like, that's great. It's fantastic. If you are also starting school in an online or in-person capacity, let me know down below what your favorite class that you're taking is, or whatever you want to talk about. If you're feeling anxious too and you want to like get that out there, just like have those feelings out in the world for someone else to relate to, start a chat in the comments. But basically today, it's the afternoon, so I'm probably just going to do a couple things to prep for the semester. I have to just like get myself in like the mental space for going back to school. Probably gonna read a little bit of Emma tonight. Welcome to the vlog, guys. Let's go. Milo got mail. Does that taste good?
You smell it in there.
What do you think's in there? Which one's your favorite? Do you like the mousy or the nut? We got a little nutcracker toy dispenser or treat dispenser, 2 kinds of treats, and a lamb stick. That is a lot of stuff. 2 different kinds of treats, 3 toys, a lamb stick. Which one's your favorite? Which one do you want to play with?
No, they're ornaments.
They're ornaments? Oh my god, they are!
They're not just for your dog, they're ornaments.
Should we keep one and hang it on the Christmas tree, Milo?
He wants more treats.
Hey guys, okay, time for a quick Tuesday evening check-in. I just finished cleaning my room and organizing my desk space to prepare for starting school tomorrow, and got all of like my supplies and things together, just organized so that I feel more prepared for tomorrow. I only have 1 class tomorrow technically, and it's not until 5-ish, I think. So I am going to come on during the day and tell you guys what classes I'm taking and what books that I'm reading for my English classes. So you guys will hear about that tomorrow. But right now, I wanted to say that I finished Emma. So exciting. I will say that I like Sense and Sensibility more, as I have already told you guys. I thought that I was gonna end up liking it more, and I mean, this is good. It's not a bad novel, but it's not my favorite. If I had to rank all the Austen that I've read, I have read all except for Persuasion by Jane Austen. So I've read 5 of her 6 novels. Pride and Prejudice is number 1. Sense and Sensibility is number 2. Northanger Abbey is 3, Emma is 4, and Mansfield Park is 5. So it's not the best, it's not my favorite, but it's not bad by any means. I did enjoy it, it was nice. Ultimately, I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. I'm not going to give you guys my detailed review breakdown because, again, I'm reading this for school and I'm not sure how many people are interested in it, but it'll be on my Goodreads as always. So if you want to follow me on Goodreads, I'll have that. The link to my page in the description down below. Right now, I am probably gonna take a shower and then pick up A Dream So Dark before bed tonight. I thought that it would be a really good way to just unwind and prepare for tomorrow, is just enjoy some fun fiction. So I am gonna pick up A Dream So Dark right after I shower, and I'll check in with you guys tomorrow to tell you all about what I'm doing this semester. Good night, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. Hi everybody. Okay, I just got off the Zoom for my very first class. The lighting is gonna be a little weird in this clip because the sun is like right in front of me in this window and I'm trying to block it so it's not like blinding me. But I just finished my first class via Zoom, and I thought that now would be a pretty good time to tell you guys what classes I'm taking and the books that I'm reading for those classes. So yeah, let's just get into it. So the first class that I'm taking is actually the only class that is not an English class, but I'm still reading for it. So anyway, the first class that I'm taking is Irish 5, not 10, 5. For those of you who don't know, I study the Irish language. I am an Irish minor, and I have actually completed 4 semesters of Irish, so I technically already have the minor, but I really, really love it, and I'm very passionate about it, and I want to become fluent one day, and I want to go to Ireland hopefully next spring for a 3-week program, an intensive learning program. So I'm trying to prepare myself by taking Irish 5 and Irish 6 just for kicks. There's actually, I think, only like 3 of us in the class this semester, and I'm probably going to be the only one in it next semester, if not maybe one other person with me. So basically where I'm at right now is I'm starting to read in Irish. So one thing that we're doing as a class this semester is we're reading The Poor Mouth by Flann O'Brien. I've actually already read this in English, that's what this version is. This is the English version, and this is a sort of a satirical story about a man living in the west of Ireland, and it's actually very humorous. I was not expecting it to be so funny, and I really enjoyed it. But we are going to be reading it in Irish, and I'm very nervous, but I'm very excited, and I'm really glad that I read it already in English. So this is what we're doing as a class, but then also my professor gifted me Na Cailleacha, which is The Witches by Roald Dahl. I've actually never read anything by him before, but I know he wrote like Matilda and a bunch of other really famous children's books. So this is actually in Irish. I'll give you guys a little glimpse of what the language looks like. But it's just like a kid's book, and it has like pictures, and I think that just to sort of challenge myself and get familiar with some of the verb tenses that I haven't learned yet. So these are the 2 that I'm reading for my Irish 5. The rest of my classes are all English classes. So the first class that I'm taking is a class about medieval literature, and actually this semester we're just working with one really long text. It is a dream vision poem. I have no idea what that means. I actually just got out of this was the first class that I had, so I heard a little bit about the Middle Ages and medieval dark period. We're just reading one book, and that is Piers Plowman. I hauled this a couple weeks ago, so you might have seen this already, but it's a poem by William Langland, and this is what we're spending the entire semester on. We're going to learn how to read and pronounce Middle English. One of our assignments is to recite 19 lines of this, and we just practiced it a little bit at the beginning of the first class, and it was so weird. Well, I'm going to be learning Middle English, and I don't know how I feel about that. So next class I'm taking, I think this is the class I'm the most excited for. I love all of these classes very much, but I think I'm the most excited for this one, and it is a class about romantic poetry. We're reading a lot of different things for this class. The first thing is we're reading assorted poems from the Norton Anthology of English Literature, Volume 2. I can tell you that we're starting with Wordsworth. We're not reading a whole lot from this, but there are some poems in here from the various authors that we're reading. I'm really glad that I don't have to lug this in a to campus in a backpack. That would be hellish. Oh my god. We're reading both Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience by William Blake. These have images of engravings that he did with the poems, and then the translations of the poems at the back. So we're reading the entirety of both of these. Then I'm so freaking pumped for this, guys. We're reading Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, and I did end up having to get this edition. I also have the Norton edition. I also have this edition that I've read before. I've read Frankenstein twice already. This is gonna be my 3rd time. I'm so excited. One of my favorite books of all time. Absolutely love it. Read it, do it. And you can't ever own too many copies of Frankenstein, so that's that class. 4th class that I'm taking is basically an independent study where I'm working on my research project. I bring this up in almost every video, I think, so you guys are probably ready to punch me in the face, but I'm working on a research project that deals with Lord Byron and Philip Pullman, and that research project is working towards a Bachelor Bachelor of Philosophy thesis. So basically I write a really long thesis paper, and then at the end of my final semester of undergrad, I defend my thesis in front of an audience. I'm just writing a lot and working on my paper, but also I'm doing a little bit of background reading and informational reading that is not essential to my work, but is nice like background filler knowledge to have. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to be reading a couple more of Byron's major works. I just really wanted to show this off, you guys. This is, I think, my favorite possession. Like, look at the colorful sticky tabs, how well loved this book is. This was a brand new copy when I got it, and I have just loved the crap out of it. And it's just, I think it's my prized possession. Also, for the same research course, I'm reading Paradise Lost. I don't know why. Paradise Lost has been on my bucket list for a very, very long time. And I've read excerpts from the first 3 books for a different course, so I'm a little bit familiar with what it is and how it is and what it's about. This is really a central background for my research project. Philip Pullman's His Dark Materials trilogy is named for and inspired by Paradise Lost. Also, it's really important for Byron because Byron and Percy Shelley regard Satan as a hero in Paradise Lost, and they kind of treat him as this epic hero, amazing figure, and that really influences Byron. And it's really important for background, and I've been wanting to read it. And I feel like before I graduate college, I want to have read Paradise Lost and consumed it. So I'm doing it this semester, guys. I'm reading frickin' Paradise Lost. I have a really, really cool edition of this. I'm hesitant to even take it off the shelf because it's falling apart, but we're gonna do it. I got this edition. It's the Portable Milton. I got this at a used book fair, and it is actually falling apart. Like, it's in 2 pieces, and I'm really sad about it. I just love it because it's so old and well loved, and it's a collection of Milton, the Portable Milton. It smells like old book. You know, old book smell? Musty, but in a good way. I love book smell. Old book smell is way better than new car smell, just saying. And then the final course that I'm taking, I'm getting credit for taking this course, but I'm not necessarily a student because I am a undergraduate teaching assistant for a course on Austen and the Bronte sisters. Now, I took this course when I was a sophomore, and I have taken many courses with the professor, and the professor who teaches this course is actually a mentor for my research project. So I am so in love with this course and this professor, and the work that we're going to be doing is amazing. And I am co-TAing with one of my very good friends from school. We're just gonna like nerd out about Austen and the Bronte sisters for a whole semester, and it's gonna be so amazing. So you already know that I read Sense and Sensibility and Emma to prep for this course over the past 2 or 3 weeks. So these are the 2 Austen novels we're reading. We're reading Sense and Sensibility first, and Emma is the last book that we're reading. So I got these 2 out of the way. These are the Austen texts that we're using. We are reading Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre. This is a beefy book, guys. Like, I'm a little intimidated. I have read Jane Eyre before, but I don't really remember what happens. Then we have Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I also love this book. I read this when I took the class, and I just, it's so good. And this book actually is what inspired my research project. I was reading this, and a couple of like the thoughts and questions that I formulated while reading this eventually led me to where I am right now with Byron. So I am eternally grateful for Wuthering Heights, for what it has done for me as a scholar and a student. And it's just a really good book. It's a classic. I'm sure you've heard of it, and it's well worth a read and well worth your time. Last but certainly not least, we are reading The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte. Now let me tell you, Anne Bronte's underrated, honey. It was like kind of a running joke during the class while we were reading Emily and Charlotte Bronte. It was like kind of a running joke that Anne is like the bottom tier of the Bronte sisters. But then I read this book and I was just blown away. So don't get it twisted. Anne Bronte is worth your time. Those are all the books I'm reading this semester. Let's count them. So I'm reading 15 books plus a whole crap ton of poems. That's a lot of stuff. I'm gonna be doing a lot of reading this semester, but honestly, I don't mind it. I really don't. Also, last but not least thing that I have to say, I reached the 40-page mark of A Blade So Black last night. It picks up exactly from where we left off, and things are already hitting the fan, let me tell you. I am so anxious for Alice about getting in trouble with her mother. Like, I'm not anxious about anything else that she has to do, but just knowing how hardcore her mom is and that she's gonna get her freaking butt whooped for like not telling her the truth and like sneaking around. I'm just like constantly like, Alice, what about your mom? Like, what are you doing? How can you not be remembering? And she'll be like, oh crap, I forgot I was supposed to call my mom. And I'm like, how did you forget? I haven't forgotten. Peace out. Also, I just wanted to quickly show you guys my makeup in natural light because I'm really proud of how the look turned out today. It's like a peachy pink. I'm obsessed with it. Hello everybody, Milo and I are here to give you a quick update. I had 2 more of my classes today and I am just, what are you crying for? Hello, what do you want? Can I help you? Why are you crying at me? Do you want attention? Do you want attention? Okay, I think he's finally gone. So I had 2 classes today. I had Irish 5 and my class on romanticism today, and I just I'm so excited for the semester, guys. I feel like part of it is that I haven't had much to do because of COVID, and I'm just really excited to have things to do. But also I'm really looking forward to everything that I'm doing and all the classes that I'm taking this semester. So I'm just really, can I help you? Okay. And now he's sitting on the bed and looking out the door. Okay, anyway. Oh my god. Will you stop? He's just huffing and puffing at me. So I finished Dangerous Alliance, and I'm probably gonna come on tomorrow and give you guys my review breakdown for that, because I just don't know if I really feel like doing it tonight and I want to do it justice. So I finished Dangerous Alliance, the audiobook that I started, or that I was in the middle of at the beginning of the week. And then I went on my Overdrive app. For those of you you're being so pouty. I'm just gonna do this clip with Milo in the background so you guys can see what he's doing right now. He's pouting. But anyway, I went on my Overdrive app, which is how I rent books through my local library, and how it works is you put holds on certain books that are like only have a number of like circulated copies, and I got an email notification at the beginning of the week that Such a Fun Age by Kiley was ready for me. And when I returned Dangerous Alliance today and went to download the audio files for Such a Fun Age, it said that my chance to download it had expired, so now I'm put back at the bottom of the waiting list for it. So I'm a little mad about that. I thought I would have more time, so we're going to have to push that back until I get it again. And I was going through my audiobook list. I have like a list of audiobooks that I'm interested in listening to. And I was going through it, and somehow the book gods have blessed me, and the audiobook for Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid was available. And I don't know how this is possible because I feel like it's such a popular book, but I have had this book on my radar for a very long time. I read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo a year, maybe 6 months ago, and I loved it. It wrecked me. I cried. It was so emotional and sad, and I've been really wanting to read Daisy Jones and the Six. It's about a rock band in the 70s, like 70s, early 80s, like told through interview style. So one of the things I'm doing that I don't ever do this, but I'm listening to the audiobook while reading the physical book, because my mom gave me her copy of the physical book because she has read it before. And so I'm listening to the library audiobook while I'm reading it, and I just flew through the first 100 pages, guys. I was sitting on my porch and I was reading it, and I'm just so invested in the story. I it's like I'm watching a documentary. It is an amazing experience, and I've heard that the audiobook is incredible because different people voice the different characters, so like if you're reading it, you don't get that added value. So I really wanted to listen to it. I think I'm just gonna go downstairs and read a little more of Daisy Jones and the Six. Also, last night I passed the 100-page mark for A Dream So Dark, and things have occurred. I don't want to spoil it. Obviously, it's the second book in a series and I never want to give you guys spoilers, but things are happening. I have a meeting tomorrow, but other than that, no classes. I have no class on Friday. Woohoo. But I do have a lot of homework to do. And also, most of my time is going to be dedicated to entertaining him. I love that he looked just as I was about to say that, because he likes to cry at my door while I'm in class, don't you? He's so high maintenance, but I'm obsessed with him, so I just let him be a brat. Hello everybody. I've done terrible at vlogging over the last 24 hours, but let me tell you, last time you saw me, I was 100 pages into the audiobook for Daisy Jones and the Six, and I stayed up until 1:30 in the morning reading that book in one sitting. I literally stopped for bathroom breaks and to vlog and tell you guys that I started it, and that was it. I just was so captivated by the story. I could not put it down, and like around the 150 page mark, I like thought to myself, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna stop reading until I finish this book, and I just didn't. I had to get up early today for a meeting, and then I did some homework, and then I took an unexpected 2.5-hour nap because I was so tired. I already finished 3 books this week. Also, my mom and I just spontaneously decided to start rewatching The Walking Dead from the beginning this evening. We started watching the show like when it first came out, and then we stopped watching around like season 6 or 7, I think, and there are now 9 seasons, and I stopped watching just because, I mean, I can get into my rants and raving on The Walking Dead any day. Like, if you want me to talk about it, I'll rant and rave about it, because I stopped watching for a reason. We watched 5 episodes tonight, and oh my god, the first 3 seasons are gold. Season 4 and 5 are good from what I remember. I'm not super good on like the break of what happens in each season, but the later seasons, like where I stopped watching, to me, I don't know, I have some problems with it. I'm trying to give it a second chance, but I love seasons 1, 2, and 3. I think season 2 is my favorite. So tomorrow I'll come on and formally give you my review for Daisy Jones and Dangerous Alliance, because I still haven't done that. Sorry. I don't know. Time has gotten away from me today. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. I don't know what this is. Biting. Rawr. Probably looks a little different, and that's because my plant is downstairs, so I put some books in the background instead for you guys. But okay, I have done a terrible job of vlogging over the past few days, and full transparency, all I have done is during the day I did schoolwork, and then during the night I watched The Walking Dead with my mom for the past 2 nights. So I really haven't done any fun reading, and I haven't been vlogging. I'm really sorry about that. It's a little bit spotty, but I don't know. The past 2 days, it's like all day I've just been like, all right, I'm gonna just get this work, I'm gonna bang it out, and then I'm just gonna veg out and watch TV, because I'm just a little overwhelmed by school. Let's be honest. Let's get it out there. The online Zoom stuff's weird. I don't know how I feel about it. I haven't been reading a lot for that reason because I've been watching a lot of TV. And let me tell you, The Walking Dead is so good in the early seasons, guys. Season 1 to season 3 is just a gold mine. I'm watching season 2 right now, and it's so good. Now, let me say that there are characters that I don't miss, for sure. There are people that I'm so glad that they died, and I was like, wow, I really hate having to listen to them again. But there are so many other characters where, like, watching them in the early form, like before they go through this like journey and evolution, it's just so good. I love it so much, and there are so many incredible scenes in season 2. And I just watched a television masterpiece, is season 2 episode 7. There's a whole lot of spoilers in that episode, so I'm not gonna tell you what happens, but if you know, you know. I promised you several days ago a review for Dangerous Alliance and Daisy Jones and the Six, so we're gonna do that now because we're getting to the end of this vlog. I'm gonna start with Daisy Jones and the Six. It was one of the most rich and wonderful reading experiences that I've ever had. Each character is voice acted by a different person in the audiobook, so it really is like you're listening to a documentary or like you're watching an interview, and it's just so good. It's so emotional. I love the story. Although I will say I liked Daisy Jones's character, but for me she's not where like everything comes from. Like, I liked the two main characters. I mean, there's like the band are the main characters, and then you have a couple other side characters, but for me the storyline with Graham and Karen wrecked my soul. Oh my god, did that break my heart into 1,000 million little pieces. I ultimately did decide to give this a 5 out of 5. I read this in one sitting. It was incredible. It like made me tear up at several different points, and I just really enjoyed it. And I loved the idea of following a fictional band and they're coming together, and then their rise to the top, and then the sudden fallout and what leads to that, and how it's kind of like boiling from beginning to end. It was just really interesting, and I loved it, so I highly recommend it. Right before I read Daisy Jones and the Six, I finished Dangerous Alliance, and I ultimately gave Dangerous Alliance a 3 out of 5 stars. I also listened to the audiobook for this, and this is a take on a Regency romance, kind of. I thought it was cute, and I thought it was interesting and entertaining, but it didn't blow my mind. It didn't really blow me away. So I'm just gonna quickly run down through my review breakdown for this, because I mean, Daisy Jones and the Six, basically everything's a 5 out of 5 in my review breakdown because I gave the book a 5 out of 5. But for this one, characters for Dangerous Alliance, I gave a 3 out of 5. I liked the characters. Vicky was interesting and I was rooting for her. They didn't really like pull me in or draw my attention like I like characters to. They didn't do it like in Daisy Jones necessarily, or even like they do in Austen, really. It was kind of just like a surface level romance where like you get the basic information, and like there is a little bit of like character growth and character evolution. World/plot, I gave a 4 out of 5. I thought the author did an excellent job of capturing Regency period and this fascination with Austen novels and what it's like. And also there's an author's note at the end where she explains her research for the historical context of like divorce and separation, because Vicky's sister is seeking a separation from her husband because he's abusive, and I think she kind of justifies that. So I liked that she included that at the end. She justifies her story as something that is realistic and could have happened. Entertainment value, I gave a 3 out of 5. It was dramatic. A lot of things happened. There's so much drama. It's like Sense and Sensibility in that sense. You know, we've got a couple different love interests and like highwaymen, robber guys, and a bunch of like accidents that we don't know if they're really accidents. Ultimately, it was cute, it was quirky, I liked it. It was a cute little romance. Intellectual value, I gave a 2 out of 5 because we do have some hints into the Regency, but for the most part this book is good because it's dramatic and it has a romance and it's entertaining, so it's not super intellectually stimulating. But I did want to acknowledge a little bit about the author's research process. Timelessness, I gave a 3 out of 5 because, let's be honest, it's 2020 and Regency romances are still hot. Let me tell you, like, there are so many people on BookTube and Bookstagram that love a good historical romance, and I'm kind of here for it. I don't read a lot of romance, but I do like the idea of historical romance because then you get the romance, but you also get to put yourself in a new time period. And for me, my brain likes when romance is paired with other things like that. My bias, I gave a 3 out of 5 because, again, I liked it. I didn't love it, and I think that I liked it because I like Austen a lot, and if you don't read Austen's novels, I don't know if you'd like this book because there are so many references to Austen. So yeah, 3 out of 5 for Dangerous Alliance. Okay, we're back by the bookshelf. We've got the plant and the books, the fairy lights. I just did a quick calculation of the pages I read this week, and holy crap, I read more than I thought I did. I probably should have seen this coming because I read an entire book in one sitting, but I didn't realize how many pages I read. So between finishing Emma, finishing Dangerous Alliance, reading Daisy Jones, starting A Dream So Dark, and reading assorted pages for schoolwork, I read 800 pages this week, which is pretty good. I'm really proud of that, especially considering everything that happened in terms of school and falling into a binge watching marathon that is still continuing. 800 pages, score. I love it. Really excited. So next week we're gonna be starting off with this bad boy, finishing this, and we'll see where the week takes us from there. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe if it's your jam. First week down, like 15 more to go. Happy reading, happy writing, and happy living. Bye guys.